Alright everybody, welcome back to Game 2 in the first match of the Bearded Dragons Netrunner December tournament. The players have switched. It's still Dan P on the right. He's playing Noise. He's ready to bring the noise. And on the left is still Jake, and he is playing Jinteki's Replicating Perfection. I think a bunch of new cards that I really like for Noise, especially this one right here, aside from Cash, which I know came out a couple months ago. Definitely made Noise into a tier 1 deck and saw a lot of people playing him, is Hades Fragment. I want to see all the cards in there, and there's nothing you can do about it, and that's where I'm putting them, so why not play this card out? Dirty Laundry at early, which I know is a big economy card for Noise. Say I'm not accessing, I'm going to drop this out for free, I'm still going to get my 5 money, and I'm going to roll from there. Noise disrupts a lot of different decks because you're trying to play a tempo of you have to come get my stuff, and Noise is like, I'm not going to come get your stuff, I'm just going to bury it all in archives, and then I'll go get it whenever I want to. Crypt's Stim Hack is a great way to get in, Parasite Destruction is a great way to get in, and then perhaps running a remote server for a couple points if we need them, and perhaps running R&D or HQ if it's cheap to get the points that we need there. Replicating Perfection, just trying to ice up those centrals, getting expensive co-gates or sentries out in the front so that you can't just check them and bounce off of them for free. Getting that enhanced login protocol out, scoring the Nisei, getting an Ash and a Caprice in those servers, and just saying your life is miserable. Replicating Perfection is good for a reason. It is a tough deck to play against, and I would say at a pretty competitive level, it's also a really tough deck to play. Dan letting him know you need to move that over because there's going to be a lot of cards going into archives. So we'll get right into this. See an Eli, the Caprice. I think I saw a Sarugi, but alright, so we're going to go for it. We're going to just gain the money right off the bat. Let's see what you got there. So we see a Kamadu, a Future Perfect, and a Lotus Field. So I'm guessing we're going to see an install in front of R&D. Okay. I would have installed in front of R&D if we actually do go get anything. We could be in a little bit of trouble. And if they're going to, I mean, unless he's running splashing account siphon, I'm not looking into too much trouble. Sorry, I'm watching the game and I'm totally zoning out. Unless you're seeing account siphon splash, you're not really in any kind of trouble. If they're going to try to get the Future Perfect, it's not really going to happen. Either way, sure gambling, playing the pawn shop, running and trashing that Jackson Howard, and then dropping cash to literally get straight cash, which will mill a card and give Noise a bunch of money, and then pawn shop it away. So in a great position here. That seems like a good plan. Let's install in front of archives. Let's install in front of R&D, and go ahead and gain that credit. So that gets sold, and we start our turn. So first action we're going to draw, second action we're going to draw, just digging for more pieces here. Playing the Cyber Feeder, which gives us a recurring credit to help boost that economy, and play a Data Sucker, which will be for free, and we'll mill another card. So this could be a really short game, it could be a long drawn-out game. And Netrunner already has a lot of luck in the cards that are coming out of the top of R&D, and Noise is just set to add a little bit more luck factor to disrupt what you have, but also turning a lot of luck into a strategy of you can't guarantee that you're going to see what you need to see, and I know that even though I might not trash a lot of agendas, every card that I'm going to knock off has a pretty good chance that it's going to be pretty important. If I'm knocking agendas off, I'm going to go get them and score them. And if I'm not knocking agendas off, knocking off perhaps burst economy cards, your Jackson Howards to put things back, ice that you're going to need to keep me out, cards that are going to surge. So there are a lot of things that Noise is really going to disrupt. So Jackson Howard coming out. Against Noise, I like to keep Jackson Howard in my hand. Drawing cards isn't going to be that big of a deal, and I can sit and build up slowly with my money anyway, especially playing as Replicating Perfection. It's going to give me a lot, but the problem with Jackson Howard is if I play it out and he runs and goes and gets it and trashes it, then I can't put back the agendas I would like to be putting back when he goes to make his burst run. But then the other downside with holding him in my hand is that if he makes that burst run before I'm ready for him to do it, I'm gonna be sitting there going, wow, I really wish I had played my Jackson Howard. So getting the ice up is gonna help it out a little bit, because now you have to go get a breaker just to trash out of Jackson Howard. So
second click, run mental health clinic. Yep, trash.
Run and trash that mental health clinic after we run HQ, get the corporation to spend a little bit of money. Third click, we're gonna see if the runner will spend a little bit of money here. The wraparound, a great card to protect Jackson Howard.
Oh, I guessed right. If that was right, I'm screwed.
Last action is to draw a card.
If I lose this, I lose this, and I lose a phantom.
So we draw into Sarugi. Sarugi, a future perfect.
So here's +3 strength. First action.
So we're really digging for some of our pieces here.
And I'll pay 1 to bring it go get.
Probably build a remote server, gain some money, get set to install in advance. Noise does have a lot of money, which is he's got his pretty much all tricks and a couple breakers that can essentially get through anything.
Second action.
Yeah, that was it.
I will play my passport.
Jeez, I can't believe that works.
Second click, deja vu.
Deja vu the cash. That's a play right there.
Third action, let's take the money off Katie Jones.
Third
And
click.
fourth action, let's run
Oh
here.
wow.
I'll use my tap publicity credit to break the end the run
Fourth
because
click,
I don't need
play
to. So
cash.
I access the negative data circuit.
Damn it to
$4
hell.
mill card. Yep. And it's your
All you
card.
need is a 1
After this card.
So the Grimoire is going to make cash recursion hurt even more. The Cyber Feeder is going to say that I'm going to play it for free. It's going to come into play with 4 counters on it. I'm going to gain 4 money, and then I'm going to pawn shop it away for another 3. So the problem with Noise is that once his economy gets going, it's really going, and it makes it really difficult for you to not be able to just say, I'm going to try to score stuff in a remote, because if Noise really wants it, Crypsis can come down with the Grimoire free counter, and we can run, pay whatever kind of money we want, lose the counter, and get in. Even at 2 pieces of ice, we could just say we're just going to lose the Crypsis. So I think in this case, the tempo style that Jinteki can play with Replicating Perfection has to be a tempo style that says, I'm going to disrupt the way you're playing. And I'm going to disrupt it by saying, you need to take time out of your game to actually come and get these. And I'm sorry, not something RP does. It's what the ability of Noise kind of makes you have to do. Noise is totally okay with you not trying to score stuff out, because we're just going to continue to drop all of our viruses. You're going to continue to lose all of your cards. Or you can try to get me to stop playing my cards by making me say, hey, these are agendas that are out here. You need to come get them. And I would say that for the first part, we would probably let that happen. Say, okay, 2 points, first agenda, I'll let you have it. Second agenda, maybe not so much. Against RP, if we really believe it's a Nisei, we probably want to go get that, because the last thing we want is a run getting ended, especially if the game's on the line. But Noise has really got its engine going, and with that wild side, things are going to start to get really ugly really fast. So Replicating Perfection, got to start to try to score stuff out, got to start to try to put the pressure on. Even with not a lot of stuff res, you're already running minimal agendas. You can start guessing that there probably isn't a whole lot of chance that he's going to just pick one off the top in R&D, so we don't have to worry about resing that piece of ice. Just res that remote server, get it online, even if he steals the agenda out of it, just install an advance, right back into it, and just keep trying to churn him out through there.
First click. Second click, really.
So Gorman Drip mills yet another card.
I'll gain 10 and 2 tags.
Wildside gave us the 2 free draws for the card,
And then I will
or for the click.
more money for my last directions and
Second action is drawing a card, and third action is another Gorman Drip. The daily cast is triggering to let us gain some money.
Well, I locked down their money for a little while.
Install and double it.
So we're install and advance. We're going to try to score out this future perfect here.
So,
So there's a lot of money here. Depending on the other agendas we have in our hand, this could be a good spot, it could be a bad spot, because if Crypsis comes out, Crypsis is going to let us go get that. Instead, we'll see an Imp. So Imp will mill yet another card.
Why not?
And the good news about Wildside being on the board with your Enhanced Login Protocol is you get one action to do something and then you have to be running. So that agenda could definitely go ahead and get scored.
That's true. No, I won't. It's fine. Keep it. No.
The downside with scoring this agenda is that, well, we're still at 8 money. So we'll score a Future Perfect, pass it over to Noise. So Gorman Drip gets sold. We see some more money. Daily Cast fires out. We see some even more money. So 26 money for Noise, 8 money for the corporation. Noise doing pretty much nothing but just doing what it has to do and gaining money off of it. Another card gets milled. So Dan seems to be electing for like the big run strategy. Another strategy you can do with Noise is play 4 or 5 viruses, run, play 4 or 5 viruses, run, play 4 or 5 viruses, run. Just to try to pick the cards out as they come, kind of like building a rig and playing like a Maker's Eye or Legwork or whatever. So here's one of the best things in the entire world, and it's the reason I absolutely love this card. Is so he plays 7. He plays the Hades Fragment. Hades Fragment comes out, or yeah, Hades Shard. Hades Shard comes out. 7 money gets played. He resolves the click. The paid abilities can then be accessed. The paid abilities can be triggered, and since the paid ability in this case is trashing it to access all cards in archives, it says I win. Because you can't respond with Jackson Howard, you can only remove Jackson Howard once my paid ability resolves. So at the end of every click, paid abilities can be used, starting with the active player. And so in that case, the active player means this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get to do my stuff first. So Dan plays the Hades Fragment. It goes down the table. Paid abilities start with him. His first paid ability is to kick it. And there's 6 points. So we kick the Hades Fragment to score out 6 points. And now we see this is why we were not electing to go out and run every once in a while. We're going to kick the Hades Fragment. So immediately, right off the bat, putting the runner in a great spot and putting the corporation in a terrible position. With that Crypsis on the table and a lot of money coming our way, there's probably nothing you can lay out in a remote server that I cannot go get. And having already revealed the medium in our hand, the medium runs on R&D are going to start to create a real problem, especially with Jinteki being at as little money as they are. So Noise in overwhelming control of this game. Imp counters to just really churn through R&D once we do start seeing cards off that medium. So, I mean, yeah, that's why the Hades Fragment is that good. It's a great card in a lot of situations. You could be holding it in your hand. Your opponent can install the Jackson Howard, click him a couple times, discard some cards, and then you start your turn by dropping the Hades Fragment and pitching it, and there's a really good chance that at least 2 agendas are going to be in there because that seems to be the theme. Jackson Howard comes out, he resets the hand, he allows the game state to go a little bit longer. Your case is now, I have a Hades Fragment, it's coming down, I'm kicking it, I'm taking the points that you thought you were going to be safe, just leaving in archives. So while it doesn't necessarily make Jackson Howard I'm never going to run this card again, it makes you think, I'm not going to spend my whole turn clicking him through, I'm not going to pitch 3 agendas every time, and I'm going to have to slowly weed my hand out. If we start seeing a lot more cards in, what am I trying to say? If we see a lot more Hades Fragments being run in the world meta or in your local meta. So just starting to get the Corp to spend a little bit more money. We ran, we saw Kamenu, we spent the money off the Crypsis counter, we trashed it with an Imp, and we blew through with a lot of money for our hand. Just trying to go through and see the last thing. We've milled a lot of cards out of R&D. We haven't seen any points. We have seen a lot of points, but with so few cards left and only scoring 6 points and not winning, with a corporation only scoring 1 Future Perfect out of hand, we know we can go get anything they lay in a remote, so running HQ is not necessary because we're just going to wait until they install it anyway. So Noise can just start focus firing on R&D. Now, just believing that there's a snare means that I'm not just going to let Kamenu fire and then just repeatedly run there for free. If we play a medium and we want to go for the win, there's a chance we could do it, but it's not going to matter. We are going to run there one more time. We are going to see an NAPD contract. We are going to score and win.
Next turn was the hand, because you were poor enough that...
And that is why, that's one of the main reasons why Noise is really, really good. Because a lot of corporations have a lot of trouble playing around his ability. The cards that you need to draw, you don't draw. The tempo that you need to find, you don't find. And you're always vulnerable to either Hades Fragment or a Crypsis run in Archives. And all it takes is 2 agendas to get kicked into there without you having a Jackson Howard. And as you saw right there, 3 agendas got kicked in. The fragment came out, or the shard came out. I keep referring to it as the fragment, but the fragment is the corporation card. The shard came out, immediately kicked the shard, scored 6 points, literally turned the game from corporations in a pretty good state, considering that they've scored their future perfect first, which is normally a card Replicating Perfection wants to score dead last after they have the ability to end the run 2 or 3 times, to 6 points in the runner's favor with the corporation at 8 money and saying, I have all the money in the world, or I can if I want to, and I have a Crypsis counter that's going to let me come in and get anything. So it doesn't matter what you do, I promise you I can go and get it. So Dan's going to take this round 2-0, and he is going to continue his advance to see if he can take first place in this tournament. So coming up after this, we'll check out the next feature match in round 2. Thanks for watching, and we hope you tune into the next match.
I'm pretty sure he got like ridiculously lucky and beat him.
Did he?
It could have been Dan. I have no idea. It was like.
Did he manage to do that thing where, and these are in place. Did he manage to do that thing where he take a net damage, convert it into brain damage, which makes it net damage because of Sentinel Defense Program?
No, he didn't. Tori.
Damn, you want to stop
That's
that?
really fun to try and do.
Yeah, we're done.